Like it or not, the teams that won at the trade deadline in the NFL.
I mean, there are a lot of interesting things happening. You know, your Eagles and Golden Tate and everything. Like, that's a solid mid-season trade deadline move because he is a receiver that has enough talent and is technically sound enough to make a difference even in a brand new offense. But I think the Bills did a great job of standing pat with their offense, right? What more do you need or get rid of with what you got going on here?
Well, they did add Terrell Pryor.
They didn't trade for him.
Yeah, they just picked up a guy. The Eagles, it's interesting. They give up a 3, which is a lot for a rental of Golden Tate. But at the same time, he plays for them. They think they can make a run. And then you'll get a compensatory pick for him, which is going to be a 3 or a 4 the year after that. So it's also sort of trading to get another pick if he decides to walk afterward. And the Rams, getting another defensive player to help them, and Fowler, who's another pass rusher. I think good teams make moves to be aggressive. I think it makes sense. It's hard to dump some of these players. I'm surprised the Bills didn't do more.
You like one in particular?
Golden Tate is the obvious one, I think, because he's the one acquisition yesterday or on the trade deadline that impacted a team that has a legitimate chance to win the Super Bowl. I think all the other trades you look at, I think the Texans had a good get in Demaryius Thomas. They didn't have to give up a lot. All things considered, the Eagles had to give up a third-round pick. Cowboys gave up a first-round pick to get Amari Cooper the week before, which is idiotic. Yeah. But Demaryius Thomas is a good player for a fifth-round pick. I don't think anyone seriously considers Houston as a Super Bowl contender. So for me, it's Golden Tate simply because it was the move that impacts a team that has a chance to win the Super Bowl.
I was like rubbing it in on Dallas because the other 2 receivers that got dealt for less are better than the one they got for a 1.
Correct.
You always kind of know these things. You hear these things. Did Buffalo make an effort to deal anybody?
From what I understand, they were not the ones making the calls. They were receiving the calls. So I guess it's a point. I don't think there's much, if anything, you're getting for Kelvin Benjamin. I'm a little surprised. I'll say this now. Terrell Pryor is in. If Pryor comes in, gets set with the offense and shows anything, I think Benjamin could be gone at some point. But that's just cutting a guy. That's not getting anything for him. McCoy could have brought you something. I do believe there's teams out there, but they just don't want to make the move.
You want to use the line about Pryor being the team's best what?
Well, we saw it earlier this week. You sign Pryor, he automatically becomes your team's best receiver and
best
quarterback. Yeah. Like at the same time. That's great. No, this is awesome. I cheer for them.
I love chaos.